South Africa and China have similar views with regard to the expansion of Brics membership, and we look forward to the discussions.
Russia also wants to bring in new members.
Take over the world and screw over the West, which is us. Yeah. I'm a little concerned. Shouldn't we be worried?
Oh, we should be. First of all, they supply us with a lot of goods, but they also have loaned us a lot of money. And the interest that we have to pay on that debt is soaring. You know, Treasury bond yields today hit the highest level in 16 years. We've got a $32.7 trillion national debt that is becoming much more expensive to finance.
And our economy continues to grow. In the longer term, the United States remains the world's largest, most dynamic, and most innovative economy, with the strongest financial system in the world. Fitch's decision is puzzling in light of the economic strength we see in the United States. I strongly disagree with Fitch's decision, and I believe it is entirely unwarranted.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Support this great content by hitting the Cash App and by joining the Patreon.
And guys, we have the Brics Summit going on and no mainstream media news. We know these nations are coming together to de-dollarize. And we have CNBC has a nerve to talk about China's debt, with the United States debt over $31 trillion, and now we have rising rates. But guys, remember, it's all part of the plan. United States and China are moving towards the same agenda, and we know that's the fourth industrial revolution. They're destroying this legacy market, this fragmented world, in order to bring in these robots, algorithms, and drones so they can take over the economy. And that CNBC conversation was textbook Hegelian dialectic, because it plays into the divide and conquer. When things actually go down, of course, some people are going to blame Biden, some people are going to blame Trump. But we know it all goes back to the banks, because the banks are the biggest what? I'll let you finish that. But guys, you're witnessing the fall of America to Babylon 2.0 and the rise of the emerging markets, the Brics nations led by China, the dragon, with that digital yuan backed by that digital SDR. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
So people talked about this surprise rate cut that came from China. The surprise was it was so small.
Right. I think it's an acknowledgement that a rate cut probably wouldn't have helped that much. China has a massive debt problem. And when you have a huge debt problem, when someone's extremely indebted, cutting rates on a future loan that they're never going to take is worthless, right? I mean, when you think about the scale of China's debt problem, their bank assets, that's how many loans they have, 54 trillion at the end of 2022. They have a smaller economy than the United States, and bank loans in this country are 23 trillion, roughly half. When you have that much debt, the question that China faces is how are they going to handle it? Are they going to have a full-on debt crisis, or are they going to have a big balance sheet recession like Japan had, which means you wait for years and years for people to pay off as they extend and pretend, and when people are paying off old loans that aren't that good or are getting restructured, they don't have money to do other things, like buy a car or do whatever they would do with that money. So
I mean, they're in a heap of trouble.
They're in a heap of economic trouble.
And a couple of things. So we need them to do better for the
Look
global
at
economy.
Militant, right?
Right. We need them to do better. But then again, what does it mean? She's still popular. No one's saying that he's not. But, you know, the economic story was part of his, you know, what he could rest his laurels on. And that's clearly not
800 million people that they brought out of poverty in China.
But, so what does that mean, Taiwan?
Oh, in terms of what they
he's
do?
going to mess with it. I mean, he's going to do things based on this that aren't economically related to keep his profile high. And I don't know what that means. Balloons, farmland, South China Sea, Taiwan.
I think a lot of it depends on how they handle their debt situation, right? Because when you have this debt situation, you can't use that money for other things. Do they do restructurings? for all of their local governments.
You don't think it makes them more aggressive on the world stage?
I think it's very hard to know what Xi Jinping is thinking. There's a lot of Xi thought out there, but if you've read it consistently for the last 10 years since he's come to power, which is what I've done. Remember, I used to be your chief international correspondent. I paid very close attention to everything he said. But you don't know what he thinks. Some days he's really supportive of a market economy, and then other days, no, he's a total statist.
He owns this because a couple of 2 or 3 years ago, he pulled in, he reversed a lot of the Deng Xiaoping
I think that started as soon as he came in.
This is where you end up. But if he doesn't have bragging rights on the 6-7% GDP that they already have, what's he got? He's not helping. Right. How many people are left? Becky mentioned 800 million out of poverty.
800 million more to go.
800 million more to go.
Yeah.
And empty apartment buildings and stadiums.
Mm-hmm. So they have two problems, right? The immediate problem is the debt problem. How do they handle that? One. Two, they've started to change the structure of their economy away from all those reforms that started in 1978, which means they don't have the ability to grow in order to pay back that debt. Right? So that's the double-handed, double-fisted problem that they face. And I'm not sure he realizes that. That would be... Because here's the thing.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. Most powerful person in the world. is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Team goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.